Okay, in this tutorial we'll start to actually add something to the course. Up until now we haven't actually added anything except some text. Now we want to add something. So we go in as teachers and we click on Turn Editing On. When we do so we see the various icons show up. In topic 3 we're going to add an activity or resource. When we click on that we see this pop-up appear. We're going to add a forum. What's a forum? Well, a forum is, back in the day when the internet was just coming out, there were often bulletin boards where you could post something and people could look at it. Some of those bulletin boards you could reply to them. And this is similar to what a forum is. So we click on forum and then we click on add. When we do so, we see this kind of page pop up, and we have to give the forum a name. Now, this name is what the students will see on their course page. So let's call this one, How Would You Like to Use Forums in Class? As basically only teachers are going to see this particular forum. Now, in the description section, we give directions on what people should do in this forum. So, for example, we can click on Add a New Discussion Topic below, then write down how you would like to use forums in your class. In the message section, finally click Post a Forum. Now you have a number of different options here. The forum type, and we'll have a look at a few of the other forums shortly, and we're going to use the standard forum for general use, but you have other options. Now, I haven't mentioned this yet, but these little question marks are very, very useful. This is basically how I learned to use Moodle. If we click on one of those, we are shown information on this particular area. So, there are 5 forum types, and a single simple discussion, and it gives you an outline of the different forum types. So anywhere where you see these little question marks, okay, you can click on them and get information about what that particular area is about. Now, attachments and word count. This is a new display. Word count is a new thing in Moodle 2.6. 2.5 and below, this wasn't available. Very useful if you want to set a particular word count for your students. There stops them just writing a one-word answer or one-sentence answer. Setting a word count. Okay, you can put attachments into your forum posts. Students often like to add some pictures, or they might like to add a document. And if you are wanting students to add pictures, then obviously you want to increase this. Okay, but for this particular forum we won't worry about that. Maximum number of attachments, yeah, we can add as many attachments as you want, but obviously the forum will become quite cluttered if students continue to do so. You might like to think about what you want to do in the forum before increasing that number. Okay, subscription mode, etc. You can again click on this to find out more about that. Basically this says, well, are students forced to subscribe, or can they choose to? And we'll talk a little bit more about that later. Read tracking is optional. Students again can choose that, or you can turn that off. There's some other things here. Grading, you can grade the forums, and if you are using grading, then you can select the different type of grade that you're going to put into the forum. If you're rating, you can average them, or if you want the students to add a lot of forum posts and you're going to grade each of them, then you can sum all of those ratings or use the maximum one. If you're going to just grade one, that's probably the easiest one. The count of ratings, etc. And there are various different types you can use there. Okay. You can, if you set that, let's say maximum rating, then you can choose the scale here. If you're not going to grade it, then that doesn't show up. Okay, but let's just for this time choose this. Now we might have a maximum of say 10 points for this particular forum. Okay, you can set the forum posts to they can post between this time and that time, or you can leave it open, and you can make the forum visible, or if this visible thing is, say for example you are setting up your entire course at the beginning of the semester, but you don't want students to see it until the particular week that you are doing that activity. Then you might hide that so that students don't actually see it. For the moment though, we're going to show it. We talked about groups previously, and forum is a very useful place to use groups, because otherwise the forum can become very cluttered. So if you wanted to use visible groups or separate groups, you can do so. You might like to click on this little question mark to find out more about separate groups and visible groups. Very, very powerful tools to be used. Now we can save and display, or save and return to the course. For this example, we're going to save and display just to see what eventuates here. So now when the student goes to the course page and clicks on how would you like to use forums in class, they will see this, and they can click on add a new discussion topic, and then enter the topic that they're going to discuss and write in their message. Then they can add some attachments and post to the forum. And that's how you set up a forum in Moodle 2.6.